you can project almost any state of being that you want. And you're gonna be that, feel like that, talk like that. You can tell yourself that I'm more confident, I'm a confident guy. And you're gonna appear more confident to other people. You can tell yourself that you're more charismatic. And suddenly, you're gonna feel more charismatic when you talk to people. This concept is called faking it till you make it. And it's, of course, an old one, an old saying. But I don't think people think too much about it. Some sayings are just like that. We tend to repeat them too many times that they stop having any kind of meaning. But what this means is that we essentially put on the person we want to be. We act like that. And then through acting like that, we're gonna become like internally more like that kind of person. And I also think this is related to, or the same thing as the law of attraction, that you act as if you have the thing that you want, and by doing so you're gonna get that thing eventually, or at least get closer to the thing you want. But I haven't looked into the law of attraction too much, so I'm not gonna say too much on that. The point is that you can, with your mind, change the very reality you operate in through yourself. There's a catch with this though, and that is that whilst you may be able to project and kind of like inflate yourself, it's very easily destructible. It doesn't take much at all to pop the balloon, if you will. So you can think of it as a balloon that you fill with air, and you keep on filling it with air, and it grows and grows and grows. But then, all it takes is some sharp object, and the balloon is gonna explode. And I got to feel this firsthand back in high school. Because one morning I woke up and I got tired of not being confident, which might sound ridiculous, but that was actually the case. I saw all the other guys in the class and I wanted to be like them, more confident. So I told myself that, hey, I'm actually a confident individual. That's me. That's who I am. And so I went to school that day and I acted much more confidently in my way of speaking, just taking up a ton more space. And the other people could see it because I saw that they were not really expecting it that day. Because that's the thing in general with people, that they like to keep people in a box so that they know where they have you. But once you start to act in a different way, they're gonna want to put you back in that box. Because unpredictability, well, we don't like that. Because that could be a sign of danger historically when we lived in tribes. So I came in and acted much more confidently, and it worked for almost the entire day. But then all it took was one comment from one guy, and this balloon had blown up, that I had blown up, just exploded, and it went away. He told me, "Who do you think you are? You're acting so arrogant, you're acting out of character. Who do you think you are?" And the comment itself wasn't very harmful in itself, right? Not that many dangerous words in that comment. But when I heard it, this confidence that I've been putting on, it disappeared. And I got back to this normal version of me that was just not confident, that was very shy, timid, had more closed body language, didn't take up much space at all. So the point here is that we can tell ourselves, I should probably add that too, that I've done this so many times in recent history too, where I've told myself I'm more confident, I'm more charismatic, and it has worked well. You can tell yourself that genuinely, you can tell yourself you're charismatic, and you're gonna be more charismatic. Because if you look at the opposite of that, if you know that you're not charismatic, you will have failed before you even begin in a conversation. Like when you walk up to a person and you feel yourself before you even say a word that you're not charismatic, you have lost at that point. So that is kind of like we kind of override that We don't have that. We don't think in that way, because when we think that we're charismatic, even though we might not be, we won't have that initial, we won't be taking the loss as soon as we begin. Like, we won't have lost at spawn, essentially. So it's a very thin layer that you put on. And that is because you don't have the proof that is required to actually be like that person. So if you act all confident but you haven't accomplished nothing, like there's nothing you can point to in your life that you can say that, oh, that made me confident, I've done this full list of things, you're not going to be confident. You may say so and think so, but unless you have this undeniable stack of proof next to you, you can't be that person full time. And so naturally, if we want to take this from being something we project, this balloon we blow up, to something we actually are, like being this confident person, being this charismatic person, we're gonna have to get the proof for us. And that proof is for ourselves. Because if a single comment can wreck you, can throw you out of the game, essentially, then you don't trust yourself that you are this person. You don't see that yourself. When you're in this illusion, it works. But once you get reminded of the fact that you're not charismatic, you're not confident, it's over. But if somebody tells you you're acting strange, you're acting too confidently, you're taking up too much space, but you know that you have this full list of accomplishments, then all of a sudden it's just words. Like, hey, I deserve to be confident because I have done this and this and that. Like, my life, this is like, who I am is a reflection of my life. Not necessarily just by my thoughts, by my delusion, essentially. And I have to also say this, that projecting a state of being, it can help us a lot. And we should do it, I think. Especially in the case of charismatic. There's no reason to tell yourself that you're not charismatic. You have all to win and very little to lose by telling yourself you're more charismatic than you are. Because if you don't tell yourself that, then you're not charismatic. But if you tell yourself you're charismatic and it doesn't work out, okay, you're not charismatic, you're back. Like, it's the same end result. Like, the downside is the same regardless. Whereas you have an upside by entering this delusion of yours. And also, this is not trying to be somebody you're not. That's a common misconception, that we have to be ourselves. Just be yourself. But there's different degrees of yourself. You can be so super low and not confident and just be very emotional and have a hard time. But just because you're that person doesn't mean that that being a happy person that can talk, that can be charismatic, isn't you. It's like there's different degrees. Like, this is you, and you can be confident on a scale. It's not being somebody you're not. It's magnifying the qualities you already have. So you take your confidence, which you have regardless, might be just the lowest confidence on the planet, but it's still confidence. And you just magnify that. So you take yourself and you increase those abilities in strength. You strengthen those abilities, you increase their power, if you will. That's not being somebody you're not. That's taking what you have and making it better within the framework that is you. But long term, we're going to have to work on this undeniable stack of proof. We're going to have to do this stuff that would then lead to us being able to tell others that we are this certain person. We have to do stuff that we fear if we want to be a courageous person. We have to get out there and talk to people, have conversations, and practice in order to be charismatic. That is the only way we can long term and undisturbed, without getting those comments that can just throw you off balance, That's the only way you can become this person long term, to get the proof for it. Have fun with this one. Try it out. Try telling yourself you're more charismatic than you are, for example. And you'll see the results, and you kind of like get a view into what a more developed version of you will look like. Because when you feel that you have this confidence for a few minutes, it doesn't matter if it only lasts a few minutes, you'll feel that I want to be this person full time, which is possible if we get to work. And that's the point. We need to do the work all the time, and based on that, our personalities, who we are, it's just gonna become better. It's just gonna improve over time, and that's very exciting. Drop your thoughts, and I'll see you again soon.